all over the world, bringing it back home and nurturing our own. A ripple effect. It's the idea for a better way to sell cars that grew from 10 to 1,000 new jobs. The will to strengthen the soul of a community that brought barbershops into the digital age. It's a better way to connect patients with doctors and create new medicines. For years we've claimed it's happening here. No longer a wish or an attempt to convince you. It's a recognition of our reality, current and future. And it's not just a few lucky ones. It's contender after contender. This is how Buffalo surges today, how we dominate tomorrow. Revitalization, vibrant neighborhoods, thousands of jobs, winning. That's why we do what we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 43 North President Colleen Heidinger.
Good evening, Buffalo. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 years, but we are back. 43 North. 43 North, like the rest of the globe, braced for impact. As we watched with extreme uncertainty the world changing quickly in front of our eyes. Candidly, we wondered about our future, what this might do to the increasingly consistent momentum across Buffalo's entrepreneurial ecosystem as the world shut down. But despite a global pandemic's best efforts, I'm going to start that paragraph over again. See what happens when I don't run the show? But despite a global pandemic's best efforts, our founders, our community in 43 North didn't waver. In fact, the last 18 months have marked the most explosive period of growth relative to startups and tech in Western New York ever. More funding, more companies, more risk takers, more jobs, more promise for our future. When 43 North came on the scene less than 8 years ago, these were our aspirations. These were our goals. These were the things that our dreams were made of. Yes, there's still lots of work to be done, but daily we're surrounded by the traction, the success begetting success, and watching as the ripples become waves across our Queen City. And already with this establishment of the 43 North Foundation, we know for certain our impact will be kept alive for generations to come as a result of our successes. "43 North now has a permanent home within Buffalo's center of gravity for technology at Seneca One. There are, yes, we didn't have that 2 years ago. There are thousands of people in our community that have taken risks to start their own companies or take a job with a startup. We have venture capital flooding into the region from the most reputable of sources, allowing our startups to scale and build a better Buffalo. For those of you that are learning about 43 North's purpose for the first time tonight, it's really simple. Forget about words like startup and tech and innovation. We are on a mission to create the kind of opportunities that define all vibrant cities. The kind of place that people are clamoring to move to, not away from. a place where the next generations truly have endless opportunities for careers and access to training that allows them to soar. For 43 North, it begins anew each year on this stage with the investment of $5 million into 8 companies that we think will not only complement our past, but accelerate our growth. We will take 8 bets tonight for Buffalo, for all of you, to ensure that students in our classrooms today have the choice to stay and build with us tomorrow. So before we meet tonight's 10 contenders, let's reflect back. In 2015, co-founders Joe Neiman and Dan Magnashevsky stood right here on this stage and wowed our judges with their simple yet massively disruptive idea that would make it easier for car dealers to buy and sell used cars. With a $1 million investment from 43 North, they were quickly off to the races. Flash forward to this past March, ACV reached tremendous heights, debuting on NASDAQ and becoming a publicly traded company with over 500 employees in Western New York. Tonight, we shine a well-deserved spotlight on the entire team at ACV. We toast to Joe, Dan, George, Jack, ACV leadership, and the entire ACV family. This magnificent achievement will no doubt create more ripples, having a transformational, resounding impact on this community for years to come. Buffalo, please join me in celebrating ACV's path to success.
I was in the car business, I had my own dealership, and I'd always been fascinated with the auction space. I just thought it could be done better, and everybody else just tolerated it, and I just didn't want to tolerate it anymore. I was fortunate enough to meet Dan early on. He was really the startup space of Buffalo.
I was working at Z80 Labs, running the incubator. I had a house, a wife, a 1-year-old. Rolled over one day and told my wife, like, we have to sell the house, we're gonna start this company.
I remember being up around midnight and Dan and I were still rehearsing it in the hotel room. And we finally just said, well, let's just drive the point home that this is a huge market opportunity. In the early days in the incubator, I mean, we were scrappy. We were very raw and scrappy as an organization. It worked. It got us to a point. Bringing George on was something we knew we had to do. It was like you got a big brother that you didn't know you had.
I came on board because Joe and Dan and Jack had so much passion around the idea. Keep in mind, the founders had just won 43 North a few months prior. I was in the front row and they won, but there was only like around 12 people in the company. So selling a few hundred cars a month, and now it was about scaling the business. So that summer we raised some capital and then it just took off from there.
In some ways, it felt like I almost had these feelings of like, as like a high school student going to like see the NASDAQ building. No, we're here for us and the company that we created, and love to do it again sometime.
To go from the late 90s to now and see how far our city has come, now I believe there's gonna be several more companies like ACV that come out of the region.
For someone aspiring, they want to be an entrepreneur, they want to start a company, my recommendation to them is just join an early stage startup.
You get visibility into the real problems that companies face, and the problems are the opportunities. So that's it. You don't have to be a genius. You have to put yourself out there and realize that you can solve those problems. You can change an industry. We're proof of that.
Please welcome ACV CEO George Shimon.
Hello, good evening. How exciting is this for Buffalo? Are we pumped or what? You know, ACV was the dream of 3 founders here in Buffalo, New York. You watched the video, Joe, Jack, and Dan. It's a story about Buffalo. It's a story for 43 North. It's a story for every single entrepreneur here in the room. It's for everyone to believe. And I'll just give you my part of the story. I was sitting right there next to Jordy and Eric Reich and watching, 3 amazing founders here on stage pitching this dream that through this competition and after this competition, they were going to take winning and change one of the biggest categories of automotive. They're going to go out and take the winnings here, they're going to take the momentum here, and had this dream to create this massive company. So fast forward, this huge idea, there's over 20 million cars for us to go after. We've got to build technology, we've got to build a team. We can do this, and we can do it right here from Buffalo. And to this day, when we go back and we watch them on stage, we look fast forward today, 1,700 people we have at ACV. Hundreds of people here in Buffalo, building technology, servicing our customers. And what we've done by building this, what will be a global company, we've proven that any one of these ideas today, we will go from idea to execution to building a global business. And not just any global business, a leader in a category. So what I'm here to kick off with you all tonight is these entrepreneurs are dreaming big. And I believe it. They're going to build some great businesses. We all get to watch it happen right from where you're sitting. So a toast for the momentum that 43 North is creating. Just an unbelievable time to be here in Buffalo. Believe, incredible night. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Now, give it up for the host of tonight's finals pitches, 43 North immediate past board chair and chair of the 43 North Foundation, Bill Maggio.
Go! Oh, man! Oh, no! Louder! All right. You've got to help me. I cannot see your beautiful smiles behind those masks, which means you got to clap louder. You got to be louder when we get this show going. Can you do that for me? You promise. You got to do it for me. Come on. All right. On behalf of our Chair Emeritus, Jordy Levy, the amazing Howard Zemsky, our Chairman, Eric Reich, and our entire board, let's give Colleen Heidegger and her team a round of applause. She got us here this year. It's amazing what she's done. Look at this set. ACV absolutely is our first unicorn. There's absolutely no doubt about that, but they're not going to be our last. I assure you of that. We got a bunch of portfolio CEOs in the audience, and we also have nine founders who pitched their hearts out yesterday and didn't make it to the stage tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. They deserve it. They did a great job. We ready to go? You know, in the past, I've often started my remarks off about how we had to work smart, diligently, to sustain and maintain the relevance of this great organization, 43 North. We had to address the naysayers, as well as the execution of our mission. Well, that ends tonight. When we first came onto the stage in 2014, we had ambitious goals, not just to be the largest startup competition in the world, but to change the environment of scarcity, this culture of scarcity that had come to accept in this region. Scarcity in jobs that would keep our young people here. Scarcity in meaningful entrepreneurial opportunity like what you'll see on this stage tonight. Scarcity in confidence that we could attract the best minds with the best ideas and get them to choose Western New York to build their businesses. So we're going to say goodbye to scarcity tonight. We are sitting here today in a city of opportunity and potential for great prosperity. 43 North is proud to have been a catalyst in creating this opportunity through the hard work of our talented teams, both past and present. We've built an organization that is a key piece of this area's economic revival. And yes, we are creating jobs, thousands of jobs. We could not have done this without many, many partners who are here today. I want to recognize them. Launch New York, led by Marnie Levine. Endeavor Western New York, led by John Gavigan, our former president. The UB Entrepreneurial Fund, led by Christina Orsi. The Western New York Impact Fund, led by Tom Quinn. Douglas Jamal and Douglas Development and his amazing tech hub. Ignite Buffalo, founded by 43 North. Tech Buffalo, and last but not least, the 43 North Foundation. But believe me, none of us are done. We're not even close. Just as the finalists we'll meet tonight are leaning in with bold thinking about how to be transformative and disruptive, we at 43 North will push ourselves to help this community with the next set of challenges, doing so with a positive perspective while never being satisfied. So what are these challenges? Chief among them is ensuring that everyone in our community benefits from the opportunities represented in this very room. Potential for us to unlock is amazing in Buffalo. It's full of greatness. When all of our neighbors see a path towards prosperity, we'll know we have succeeded. That's alive in this room can be a powerful force in providing hope and connection to real economic opportunity for those who want it. Before we get on with the show, I want to frame what you'll be seeing on stage with me tonight. Yes, there are some brilliant ideas, some amazing companies, but what you're going to see is talent. You'll be meeting inventors, innovators, and entrepreneurs who are figuring out ways to compete and win in this modern-day technological industrial revolution. They are part of a new generation that has shown it is ready to lead. May my generation and those that have come before me dedicate ourselves to embracing these new leaders and supporting them in any way that we can. Their success is a victory for all of us, I assure you. And the best antidote for the unpredictability that the future brings is talent, and talent, period. And that is why it is so critical that we work together, that we collaborate, partner, and support each other. And you all being here today is evidence that we will win. We will win this race for relevance. And make no mistake about it, Buffalo is in a race for relevance. And your attendance tonight, almost 3,000 of you, demonstrates the abundance of momentum. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here this evening. So we're going to get on with the show. I'm going to introduce the judges to you now. Are you guys ready to get going? I just want you to promise me one thing, that when they come out, you will give them the loudest round of applause that we can. Can you do that for me? Our first judge is the chief editor for Inc. magazine and currently serves as deputy chairman of Leadership Council at ICAR Global Institute. Before joining Inc., he advised startups as a partner at Human Consulting IO. Please join me in welcoming Scott Omelechuk to the stage. I got it. Next up, he's a general partner of Lightship, a Cincinnati-based venture capital fund. He's responsible for fund operations, entrepreneurial training, and leadership of the AI team. Please welcome Brian Bracken to the stage. Our next judge is a visionary entrepreneur who built a global advertising agency from 13 employees in 1978 to over 8,000 today. He has also served as jury president at International Advertising Festival in Cannes and serves on the boards of Peloton and Audio Up. Please welcome Howard Draft to the stage. She is the founder and managing partner of Glasswing Ventures and has 18 years of investing in operational experience in high-tech growth companies and IT software, cloud and entrepreneurial SaaS. Please welcome to the stage Rudina Cesari. The next judge is founder and managing partner of Stellation Capital and previously spent 8 years as a partner at General Catalyst. He also co-founded and advises Rough Draft Ventures, a program which supports technology entrepreneurship on college campuses. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Peter Boyce the second. See you, buddy. She is the CEO of Post House Capital. Before that, she ran Squared Capital, was the Chief Development Officer at Yahoo, and the head of the U.S. Media Group at Apex Partners. She is also a board member of Veravn, Nubank, and Endeavor. Please join me in welcoming Jackie Reeses. All right, here's how it's going to work. Each company will have 2 minutes to pitch, and then 4 minutes of questions from our judges. You ready to go? Let's meet our first finalist. I'm not the finalist, I assure you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rodney Reisdorf and John Ebel from
They're the
Veravn.
finalists. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you. There is one thing that every business in this competition has in common. They need to get paid. There are over 30 million small and medium-sized businesses in the United States, and the majority of them are handling their invoices with paper,
checks and wire transfers,
spreadsheets,
emails, text messages, and phone calls.
and all of this creates a ton of extra work.
With over $9 trillion of B2B payments made annually, half of them are still made by paper check. Quick show of hands, how many people have used Venmo or PayPal before? Yeah. So the way that individuals transact, the way that they pay is different, it has changed. So why are businesses still struggling with B2B payments?
And that's exactly why we were founded. We were founded to solve the specific problems that our founding team experienced in our real world.
But now there is one solution, one comprehensive platform that solves all of these in one powerful solution, and that is Veravn, built right here in Buffalo, New York.
And Veravn is the only solution in a $1 trillion market that allows businesses to transact like no one else does. With instant payments, full end-to-end transparency with every transaction, real-time messaging and collaboration tools, business ratings and reputations, and embedded lending and financing options that get businesses paid as quickly as possible.
And with zero barriers to adoption, Veravn enables businesses to be up and running in minutes and bring all of their customers right into the platform. And these customers are seeing huge return on investment, realized through blazing fast payment and back office time savings.
And with Veravn's powerful network effects, we've already seen massive customer adoption with explosive growth ahead. We're on track to reach $1 million in annual recurring revenue next year, and 43North's investment is going to allow us to scale quickly to reach that milestone even quicker. And Veravn's founding team is born and raised in Buffalo, and we have been part of the playbook from successful startups like Liaison and ACV Auctions.
We are energized to be building a transformational fintech company right here in Buffalo that will create numerous jobs and will empower businesses everywhere. But don't just take our word for it.
Here's what our customers are already saying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're taking this with you, right?
We're going to clean up
We'll
this
clean up.
mess.
Okay,
Don't worry,
who's gonna
Bill.
kick it off here?
Yeah.
Here's the first question. Please, Jackie.
How do you charge?
We've got a subscription fee that scales with our businesses, so it's a pay-as-you-grow model, and a per-transaction fee that we take at time of transaction in real time.
What's it cost you to get a customer?
That's a great question. Our cost of customer acquisition data is early, but here's how we're thinking about it. Between customers and their transaction volume, and our go-to-market strategy between direct sales, strategic partnerships, and viral customer and product-led adoption. What's the number? It's going to vary between customer volume
And channel as well. So when we partner, for example, we partner with some financial institutions, which is wonderful for us because customers trust banks. And so if the bank intrinsically trusts us, the customers trust the bank. And in that channel, like the customer acquisition cost is very, very low.
Which of these channels is growing fastest?
Our virality and product-led growth right now, because as John mentioned, as our customers use the platform with their customers, there's zero barrier to adoption. So that organically grows the platform with more and more customers every single day.
That's right. Peter, please.
Yeah, tell us maybe a little bit more about the team that you've assembled to help you scale.
Sure.
Yeah, so we've been living the startup life our entire careers. I was an early employee at Liaison, and John was there too, and that's where we met. And John went on to ACV Auctions, and we've basically been preparing to start Veravn for a long time now.
Yeah, we've brought on some of the best developers I've ever worked with. So I've had the luxury to work in some of these amazing startups, and actually as a leadership role. So I got to mentor and guide people and learn from them as well. And I've been able to actually recruit some of them from Liaison, right?
So if it's a green space now, hence no barriers to entry, what kind of barriers to entry will you establish so Peter and I don't start a competing business?
Very good, yeah.
So it's definitely a crowded space, but you know what? It's crowded with individual point solutions that only solve some of the pain and broad brush solutions that are really just shallow in their delivery. So we believe that we are ahead of the competition in terms of the comprehensive feature set that we're offering, and feel strongly that Veravn is the fintech super app that brings together buyers and suppliers all in one place. They don't have to go anywhere else to transact.
What happens, though, if one of these companies already embedded with so many small businesses decide to offer your same solution set?
We are, yeah, that's fair. So we are right now, our feature set is ahead of the competition. So we've assessed the competitive landscape. We're ahead right now. That said, we need capital to stay ahead. Like we have some of the best people right now. We are focusing in specific markets, which, as Rodney said, not everyone is doing. That does give us a little bit of a competitive advantage in those markets because we do meet those specific needs. But yeah, it's a race. FinTech is a total race. And we're out there in the front right now.
It feels like it's taken you a little bit of time to scale. Like your projections to get, I think, to $350 or $1 million in a year. What is holding you up? If you're the product that's better than anything out there, why isn't there more rapid adoption?
So we had the unique opportunity to build this platform and beta test it with a group of real companies to make sure that it worked exactly as we needed it to. And also, at the end of the day, we're dealing with companies' money, and that's not something you get a second chance at. So we've been growing this and building this platform as responsibly as possible so that when we did officially go to market 3 months ago, we could hit the ground running, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Time for one more question, quickly. Anyone?
What are the earliest adopters from a vertical perspective? You said you'd gone in certain markets. What are those verticals?
Absolutely. So we're focusing on the verticals that we experience these pains in our own lives. Trucking and transportation, waste materials, professional services, and a new organic one that just developed was investment groups. Investors sourcing funds from their individual investors, paying out those investments to their portfolio companies, as well as paying out those dividends back to their investors.
In fact, I just want to add, one of the previous 43, I hope it's okay I say this, one of the previous 43 North company winners, just got funded with a raise on our platform, actually. Totally organic. They found us, they started using us, and there was a shoe-in.
And we have to end it there. We have to end it there.
Yeah,
Great job.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo! That was good.
Totally.
I'm glad you saw that.
Okay, let's see if we can get this right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Melissa Beim from Infuse Health.
I just have to tell you, this young lady traveled all the way from Nigeria to compete in this competition in Buffalo. I think she deserves a round of applause, right?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Melissa, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Infuse Health. And I'm excited to be here today to share with you our revolutionary platform aimed at increasing African participant access to clinical trials. Today, 1.4 billion Africans who have been proven to be the most diverse population in the world are excluded from clinical trial studies. And this is bad for all of us, because not only are pharma companies missing out on the huge data potential from this population, but it also means that they lose over $4 million in daily losses when they fail to reach enrollment and diversity targets thus slowing drug and vaccine development. Our platform connects eligible Africans to global clinical trial opportunities by helping pharmaceutical companies find and source the right participants for these clinical trials. We've also built tools to improve participant engagement, e-consent, remote data capture, and data analysis. This way, these pharma companies can find the right participants from Africa to take part in whatever clinical research studies they are conducting. We make money on each patient we place in a clinical trial study, with pharma paying us approximately $15,000 in each clinical trial study. And we have gone on to work with some of the leading life science companies within the US. We've seen really rapid growth over the last couple of months, growing 25% month over month, and are on track to do over $150,000 within the next 12 months. Our team has operational and domain expertise in the clinical trial space with backgrounds from Stanford, Medtronic, and Microsoft, and have been accelerated through Y Combinator. Buffalo offers us the right entrance into the US market as we leverage the ever-growing community of clinical trial companies. Join us as we democratize access to clinical trials for all of Africa. Thank you.
Good job. Okay, who's going to kick it off here?
How do you think about customer acquisition? So where do you go source patients for the clinical trial?
Okay. So right now we have a network of over 50 hospitals across Nigeria and Cameroon where we source the patients that take part in these clinical trials. Because of the atrocities pharmaceutical companies have committed in Africa, we're building a really safe space for us to keep recruiting these patients and participants from hospitals, which is an environment which they trust. And that way, we've been growing our participant database to over 21,000 participants currently.
Good question, great answer.
So should you win today, who are you going to hire for the business?
Yeah, so right now we are focusing on sales and business development, and that's why we're here, right? The US, we have 80% of our customers over the last 3 months who have come from the US, and we intend to keep growing and keeping up with the pace that we have been selling. So the primary roles we're hiring for is sales, business development, as well as compliance and regulatory officers.
What makes the company a must-have from a regulatory perspective? So you spoke to a misalignment between the pharma needs for testing and the diversity needs. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So in 2020, the FDA provided a mandate for diversity targets for pharma companies to have in each clinical trial phase. Right now, we're taking advantage of that mandate, which will make sure that each pharmaceutical company now brings in more diverse populations as they advance drug and vaccine development to ensure that they build drugs that are generalizable within the population. Africa provides the right entryway for the African American population in particular, while we grow our platform to really serve underrepresented populations which have always been excluded from the studies.
Yeah, good question. Here, go ahead, please.
How do you think about competing with and or collaborating with existing clinical trial platforms?
So right now, Infuse is the first and only company in the world providing access to African participants. We are not competing or collaborating with existing, we're not competing with existing clinical trial companies. We provide collaboration opportunities, especially with even homegrown Buffalo companies such as Circuit Clinical, whom we've been in talks with over the last week, where we can continue to provide them with access to this demographic rather than serve as a competition. We're unique and we're in Africa, and none of them are present within this geography.
Are there barriers to taking a trial from the United States to Africa? I mean, I can't imagine just everyone's accepting of whatever drug or device shows up at the hospital, right?
So as a nurse, 100% of every drug I have ever administered 2 patients were developed outside of Africa. So our selling point to our users and to this population is, look, whatever drug you choose to take, whether you like it or not, has to go through clinical trials, and we provide a safe space for you to be included in that research process that ensures that whatever drug you're taking has been proven to work on people that look like you. So the barriers are always there just because it's a very new space that we have to navigate. But we are building up a really good framework for which we handle patient recruitment, patient engagement, and so we're seeing a lot of our participants taking part in 2 or more trials for which they are eligible for.
And so no regulatory barriers either?
No. So when a drug or a vaccine is approved within the US, that FDA approval automatically applies in Africa because we don't have an FDA or some overall governing body. And so this gives these companies a really huge opportunity as they have to navigate less regulatory barriers and at the same time collect the data that they would have collected from within the US at a cheaper cost.
Well done there. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, who's
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sam Eder from Big Wheelbarrow.
Hi, I'm Sam Eder, CEO and co-founder of Big Wheelbarrow. Buffalo is surrounded by amazing farmland. Yet only 5% of the food that's grown here ends up in local grocery stores. The problem is that existing grocery store supply chain software wasn't designed for the complexities of local transactions. That's where we come in. Our software scales the number of local suppliers our customers can work with by pulling in data from farms, aggregators, and logistics companies into one application that gives our customers real-time, unified views of product availability, purchases, and deliveries. Our product is already in use. We've worked with Price Chopper for over 2 years, and they've used our software to manage $5.2 million in local transactions to date. Farmers win too. Reeves Family Farm was able to increase their revenue from Price Chopper 72% using our platform. Today, we're proud to announce that starting next week, Buffalo's own Tops Market debuts as a customer. Our team has worked together at small startups and large corporations, but for the last 4 years, we've worked in every aspect of local food systems. We make money by adding a modest fee to each transaction. With your investment, we'll hire salespeople, account managers, marketers, and developers, all here in Buffalo. We are growing fast in this region, and we need help to gobble up a market that's $26 billion and counting. We're going to change how cities feed themselves, and we can say it started in Buffalo.
Good job. Thank you. All right. Good job.
I'd like to invite up my CTO and co-founder, Evan Alter.
All right. Howard.
You build a business out in Buffalo. It starts to have some good traction, and you get to a certain scale. How difficult is it to scale it into the rest of the country? Do you have to build teams in other places, or will you be able to run this business strictly out of Buffalo?
Yeah, that's a great question. What we've learned is this is a very relationship-driven business, right? So having a bedrock of solid work here will help us grow kind of regionally. But once we get to a certain scale, we're going to be able to find brokers and other people that can get us into these retailers pretty easily. And we're actually currently building out and scaling that broker network with this round.
When you talk about $26 billion, how much of that is regional versus national?
That's national.
That's what I thought.
National. Okay. Peter.
Really quick, how do you think about resourcing the expansion opportunities with your existing partners like Price Chopper, and who are some of the other local grocers that you plan to work with?
Good question. Yep.
Yeah, great question. So, because of our launch with Price Chopper, we were able to grow into Tops and Big Y, talking to other big groups I can't name right now. But I mean, all together, we already have a pipeline that will put us in 700 stores next year.
How do
I'm sorry, Jackie.
How do you think about system integration? Like, if you have this one simple system, how does it tie to other things, and how much is that a barrier to a customer buying your product?
Having a system that can integrate with everything that comes in to the store is pretty important. So the grocery store wants all the farmer data. And because of that, we take in basically any format and turn it into whatever they need. We don't make the farmer change anything, and we integrate with all the systems that the grocery store has.
Follow up, Scott. You had a question?
Yeah, so what happens to your business when it's not growing season here in New York State?
Yeah, that's a great question. So actually, we work with producers that grow indoors, like Buffalo's own Wheatfield Gardens, probably here in the audience. Right? They're an indoor grower, and they'll be going direct to stores at Tops using Big Wheelbarrow.
And beyond produce, where else do you take this from here? And you talked about the data piece as well. Is there any piece of the data that you can feed back to the farmers that they can learn to optimize?
Oh, yeah. So one thing that we've been able to do is to tell farmers, if you grow a different thing than the other people in your region, you might be able to make some extra money. We were able to tell people that they weren't optimizing quite what they were growing.
That real-time insight actually is a black box today. So being able to give them real data and be able to compare what the retailer sees and what they see, and us being the source of truth, is incredibly powerful. And it works across all supply chains: produce, dairy, meat, cheese. We're there.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Got time for one more question. Who's got it? Anyone?
How do you think about average order value and what it needs to be for the lifetime value of a customer?
That's a great question. So what we normally see, in peak seasons, we're seeing average orders about $500 per order. Stores are ordering 2.8 times per week because they're able to see what they have in their bin and make their order right there on the floor. It's great. It means that they are not wasting food to spoilage. We want to be right around, that's our sweet spot. So really that seasonal question, that's where we're going to put our account managers to work to expand to make sure that we have enough products across enough categories that we're always hitting that mark.
Good job. Wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Dan Rifkin and Dr. Thomas Schenk from Agnomi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Dan Rifkin, the founder and CEO of Agnomi, and I'm here with Dr. Tom Schenk, our Chief Growth Officer. First, we want to thank you for this amazing opportunity. I'm a physician, board certified in both neurology and sleep medicine, and I've been providing sleep apnea care for more than 20 years. I've been doing that for more than 20 years. I've had the ability to take my knowledge and put it into sleep apnea care so that we could provide care for people throughout the world. There are more than 20 billion people in the world with sleep apnea. 25 million in the United States. And if you snore and feel tired, you might have it. And if you leave it untreated, it could lead to poor health, $150 billion a year in economic impact, and even early death. I knew that I had to leverage technology to reach the masses, to democratize access, and still provide the highest quality of care. And from there, we created Agnomi. For the patient, Agnomi is a seamless app-enabled journey that engages them in virtual visits. It engages them in all kinds of treatment and engages them in follow-up care. And on the back end, It's a software as a service platform for all the providers to communicate and engage with those patients. Tom?
Thanks. So Agnomi is disrupting brick and mortar care for apnea. We are addressing the entire sleep apnea care vertical. We are not just a telemedicine company. We are not just a home sleep test company. We are a company that enables and monetizes those as we move forward. We give people the opportunity to stop worrying about their sleep problems on their wearable devices and put them one click away from doing something about it. And we are live in 11 states. Dan and I are both from Buffalo. We want to make Buffalo the place where we employ the people to help us tackle this massive problem. And 43 North can be the spark.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Who's first? Radina? No? Howard?
How do the numbers work?
How do the numbers work? Good question.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you know, our cost to acquire a patient on the platform is about $200 right now. A lot of that is direct to consumer. That will average down as we include more physician practices on the back end. The lifetime value of those is about $613 or so. And that's 2 years. I think if we engage people longer than that, that will rise as well. That will also rise as we are able to monetize some of the devices and disposables that go along with sleep apnea.
Scott.
So
Yeah,
you
Brian,
just
I'll come
mentioned engaging physicians on the back end being an important part of the growth. I've mentored a couple of health startups. The physicians are always the hardest sell. They're the people who don't want to hear how to do things differently. No offense to the two of you, because you clearly are different, but it feels to me that's a huge stumbling block.
Yeah. Well, you know, right now sleep apnea and sleep apnea care is kind of ripe for that because the reimbursements are going down and our costs are going up. So we actually provided a financial calculator for doctors to join our practice where we can show them savings if we want to engage them.
Brian, did you have a question?
How do you balance healing someone faster versus that kind of long-term value, right? Like theoretically, if you could get them off the system in 3 months or 6 months, that's better for them, but it also isn't necessarily better for you.
Yeah, so you know, sleep apnea once diagnosed becomes really a chronic condition unless over a period of time the person's able to make a change in, for instance, their weight that makes them not dependent on, say, a CPAP machine anymore. So there'll be variation in that, but for many people, especially seniors, once diagnosed with sleep apnea, that's a chronic condition that continues on for the rest of their lives.
You're stuck with it.
So you've talked about how you help sort of the doctors in an ever-changing reimbursement scheme going down. Talk a little bit about how you simplified for patients and not having to go in the labs and all those joys.
Yeah, it's so simple. They hear about Agnomi, they download the app, they can schedule an appointment with a sleep medicine provider. They'll see the provider, we can order a study that gets mailed to their home. They mail the study back to us, we score it, interpret it, see the patient back and follow it, order appropriate treatment. We engage the treatment through the app, we follow up with them back on the app, and they're engaged the entire time on their smartphone.
Jackie. Is there a moment when the patient needs to be in a physical doctor's office, or it all can be done online?
It all can be done online.
Interesting.
I want to follow up. You had shown an earlier slide where there was a clear inflection point in your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? What'd you launch that got you there?
Yeah, so we've been doing some experimentation, and we've been looking on our product development, and we were waiting to finish our database. We had to shift it from a community database to an enterprise one. And once we did, and we also engaged a practice that also brought our CAC down, we saw that sort of exponential rise starting in end of July.
Yeah, we think with direct-to-consumer, we'll see sort of a slope, and then each time a new practice comes on board, there'll be a bump.
Radina. Then I'll come to you, Peter.
None of us
Quickly.
are physicians on this panel. What do you wish we asked you that only a physician would ask you?
Yeah, I think if you had asked us, how does that make the physician's life easier? That's, I think, the biggest place where we impact physicians. The platform actually automates a lot of the processes that a physician has to physically kind of go through in terms of prior authorization, the ordering, receiving tests. It's all integrated into the app. So when they open up a patient, everything's
Peter,
right
real
from
quick.
What are your highest performing
15
channels
seconds,
for
relax.
acquiring customers?
Right now, it's through practices that notice the benefit of Agnomi to see the patient more at a less cost to them.
Great. I'll have to do it. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Imtiaz Shams from Phlox.
We're Phlox, the healthy chicken company. There are 66 billion chickens that we eat every year for meat, living in 300,000 chicken houses or sheds, or in the UK it's the sheds. We live inside these chicken houses to figure out what the birds are up to and help improve the lives of these chickens. As we do that, we pump out a lot of benchmark data that the entire supply chain finds valuable, all the way to you, the consumer. Farmers make a lot of money, chicken farmers make a lot of money, but there's a lot of pressure on them to do better from the retailers, from consumers, and also from regulations. I'm Imtiaz Shams, I'm CEO of Phlox. I've built 5 enterprise AI companies in the last 4 years, including with my business partners, including Hazy, which won the $1 million Microsoft prize. My CTO built a company bootstrapped it to 60 million downloads, and Andrew Maunder sold his company to the largest player in chicken in the UK. Today, you're walking your sheds for 15 minutes a day. There's about 50,000 birds in each shed. You're grabbing them by hand and weighing them physically, maybe 50 birds out of 50,000. What we're doing is real-time, 24/7 visibility of what the chickens are up to. We put cameras, CCTV cameras, up and down the chicken sheds, and we figure out with AI what they're doing. One of the algorithms we produce is weighing. We can weigh 50,000 birds a second at a 97% accuracy, and the spread, as you can see, is really important. When they all clump up, it's horrible for them, and everyone loses money. All of this creates value and an $8 billion TAM, just for chickens for meat, not eggs. We raised $500,000 from VCs behind Square, Wish, and Pinterest, and we got to a bunch of revenue. And what we want to do in Buffalo is, you guys are in the poultry basin. Everyone around you makes a lot of chicken, especially in Ontario. 60 years ago, you guys were at the forefront of chicken innovation. You invented the buffalo wing. And what we want is to win $1 million to bring chicken innovation back here to Buffalo. Thank you very much.
That's something known here, chicken basin. That's new for Buffalo, I gotta tell you. Who's gonna kick it off here? Jackie, please.
Talk beyond chickens. What's the next move beyond that? Because it's clearly applicable to other animals.
Yeah, we want to be a thin tech layer for all animal farming. And that's the reason I've never taken corporate VC investment, because we want to be agnostic. Beyond chickens, there's eggs. We just spoke to Crayer Farms here. Dan from ACV connected us. We're talking to Bell and Evans soon as well. They might actually be in the audience, I think they were coming. But beyond eggs, you've got turkey. America's the biggest producer of turkey anywhere in the world. And then, so that's the easy stuff. Then beyond that, you can kind of raise a bunch of US capital to go beyond. We've got a bit of an innovation engine. My CTO is like the best CTO I've ever worked with. So he just keeps pumping out good enterprise level tech. And so we want to keep going cattle, pigs, et cetera, where we can solve problems though.
Brian, please.
Brian.
Congratulations on a great pitch. The whole buffalo wing thing was brilliant. Working with the audience, very, very smart. I had a question about extrapolation. I'm kind of an AI person, and so is there a risk that a customer will take one of their sheds, use it in that one place, and learn enough from that one location and not roll it out to the other location?
Good question. Yep.
This theater, you cannot copy what you apply here to another theater. It's too big. There's too many humans in here. Same thing with chickens. So no.
Great.
Okay. So we'll have to believe it. Rudina, you have a question?
No.
Scott, sorry.
I don't, I like chicken. I eat chicken. Why do I care about them between their hatching time and their pot time? And as part of that, I noticed on the screen, you mentioned something called burn. Well, what's a chicken burn?
Yeah. So it's quite horrible. So when the chickens spread badly, they sit in their own litter, their poop, and they burn themselves. This means you can't sell their feet to China, you can't sell the legs to Costco. It's very expensive. We're preventing that. The reason you care about chicken, so consumers are funny. They won't pay more, but do you guys care about chicken welfare? Right. So it's funny, and we want to make, the industry doesn't have a choice. So that's why the contracts we have in the UK make up 70% of the UK market. And we've done that in 5 months. That's why I'm here in the US. I've done the UK. So
Great.
So can I pick up on that thread? Why, you talked about chicken welfare. You asked if we cared. Did you ask if we're willing to pay more because we care? And if not, then why is it that the farmers and whoever is raising the chickens cares?
They make more money.
Okay,
So if you have better welfare, they don't spread so much, they don't burn themselves, you sell those feet to China. If they don't spread so much, you've got a whole chicken, Costco sells it for a lot more money, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of, the other big thing is feed conversion. So you don't want your chickens to be overfed, actually, and you don't want them underfed, but only healthy chickens are the right way. So it's only when you manage that environment properly that you're actually making good money.
So talk about what you're learning from your general adversarial networks and from your AI engine and the data piece and how it all fits. Where is the improvement? It's one thing observation.
Yes, good.
Okay.
We have real-time, relevant, contextual data about what's happening there. So what we can start to do when you think next 10 years is we can upsell products. So when Cargill comes up with a new feed that's better for the birds and makes more money, we can prove that. And we can do that A/B testing every single chicken shed rather than 4 sheds up in Ontario.
Time for one more. Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
What's so unique about this technology? Because it feels very similar to other monitoring technologies. So what's special? Where's your moat?
Yeah, it's hard to do this, first of all. It's just really difficult to actually productionize machine vision in this way. Our camera systems cost us about $2,000 per shed. A shed is worth $500,000. So when people are doing robotics, you just can't sell up to the farms like that. The other thing is we've got patents. We filed one US patent 4 months ago, and we've got about 5 others, taking my background, my business partner's background in other areas like autonomous vehicles, bringing it to chicken.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to end it there. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to take a couple of minutes and let our judges kind of, I think, gather their thoughts on the first 5 companies, and I'm going to ask our chairman, Eric Rice, to come out. He's got a special announcement we're going to make. Eric. Good luck, my friend, with these teleprompters. They're a little jumpy today. Before I let you get going, a lot of you know Eric has been our chairman for the last 4 years. He had signed up for 2 years, and he's been the chairman for 4 years for a variety of different reasons. He's taken this organization, I tell you truthfully, to another level. He got us through the pandemic. And if you can imagine, we didn't have a competition last year, and this house is full. You deserve a lot of credit for that.
Thank you.
You also facilitated the move to our new facility in Douglas Jamal's Tech Hub. It's a remarkable location for us. You are seen from a lot of people as the leader, the young leader of the startup ecosystem here, and we couldn't be more proud of you. You've done a remarkable job. This is his last year. He'll be replaced next year by Mike Whistler. Great job, buddy.
Thanks.
That's all I could say, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. What a great evening so far. Thousands of people here at Shays in person again to witness our entrepreneurial ecosystem at full power. To date, 43 North has produced 51 companies that employ 2,000 people. These jobs have ushered in a new era of opportunity in Buffalo, as well as educated an entire generation about the power of entrepreneurship. Think of the ripple effects of all of those new jobs, which are then producing even more jobs in our community, in stores, restaurants, construction, car dealerships. The impact is absolutely incredible. Certainly, all of this collective progress cannot be attributed to one person or one organization. But I can tell you that the genesis of the Buffalo entrepreneurial ecosystem and many of its successes can be traced back to a visionary who in many ways is the catalyst for our incredible progress. A person who cares deeply about our community, who has worked tirelessly to ensure its sustainability and prosperity. That person is Jordy Levy. He's known in most circles as an entrepreneur who has founded multiple companies and a venture capitalist who has invested in and guided hundreds more. Most know that Jordy has served as a mentor to countless local tech CEOs and has been key to the success of almost all of our big wins. Jordy knows the truth about choosing the life of an entrepreneur, that startups are really, really hard. One day you're conquering the world, and the next day you want to quit. And there is no one, and I mean no one, better than Jordy to keep you grounded and motivated. He will tell you things that are hard to hear, or in my case, lots of things that are hard to hear. But that's the deal. If you want the benefit of his wisdom and experience, that's what comes with it. It makes the occasional compliment all the more meaningful. But what I think is most impressive about Jordy's impact is the amazing track record of community, philanthropic, and humanitarian causes that Jordy and his wife Holly continue to support. Although he's a man often in motion with business connections across continents, he has never forgotten where he's come from. In fact, he always brought Buffalo with him and ensured everyone he meets gets to know the city that he loves. He's a husband, a father, a grandfather, and for me and so many other aspiring leaders and entrepreneurs, he's a friend and an amazing mentor. Jordy, you are a mensch of the highest order and an example for us all. And because you never want the credit, it's time that we force it on you. Let's watch.
How are you going to describe Jordy Levy in 4 minutes?
You are the absolute pioneer of entrepreneurship in Buffalo. Everybody who knows you knows that.
Over the last 20 or 30 years, there's been a meaningful increase in the amount of technology-based businesses in Buffalo. And, Jordy, he's like the father of that, right? I don't know there's anybody else that you could attribute that to more than him.
The success that we have today is a direct result of his commitment and his vision for what this could have been from the very, very beginning.
Jordy is a force of nature, and when he gets an idea in his head, he makes it happen. And, they should give him a key to the city.
You're the biggest Buffalo booster there is.
Jordy taught me that building companies was building Buffalo. They go hand in hand, they work together, and the results are really meaningful and gratifying.
Your guidance over the years, all the way back to Z80 and where I got my degree in startups and understanding venture capital and all that stuff.
It was you, Jordy, that pushed me to say yes to ACV. Basically told me I'd be crazy if I didn't take this.
Ultimately, you were right about everything you ever told me.
Jordy has, been my biggest critic at times, but more often he's my biggest cheerleader, and that's what means the world to me.
Jordy has been a mentor, but more importantly, a great friend to me.
He wants, what's best for everybody.
He has a great moral compass, and he sort of understands what the right thing to do is, and he always does the right thing.
I think he's quite remarkable, and I'm very proud.
The values that you've taught me, I will pass down to my children and raise them.
Is just his warmth and generosity have come first.
I think the things my dad has done really set the bar incredibly high for me.
The legacy of 43 North is going to be felt for generations, well beyond when we're gone. I think his father would be immensely proud of him.
I think it's clear to say that there would be no 43 North if there was no Jordy.
What you've done at 43 North is amazing, really putting Buffalo on the map in the tech world.
You are truly the reason why we are where we are today.
I really want to thank Jordy for all that he's done for me in my career and for being a great friend.
Jordy, godfather of Buffalo startups.
Appreciate everything you've done and really everything you've done to help ACV.
Thanks for being our godfather.
Thank you, Jordy.
Thank you, Jordy.
Thank you, Jordy.
Thank you, Jordy.
I can't thank you enough.
Hi, Moisey.
Jordy, thanks. I hope you love this video. I hope you really enjoy all these accolades, because, honey, you really deserve it.
Jordy, come on up. The floor is yours.
I guess I just was at my funeral. I just don't know what to say. Thank you all very much. You know, I remember sitting with John Gavigan, I think his first day when he came to work for us. And he asked me why I do it. And I do this stuff. And I said, there's a word in the Jewish religion called tzedakah. John, you're out there, right? And he asked me what it was. And I said, tzedakah is really the foundation of Judaism in many ways, and it's obligation, not charity. And what it says in the Torah is, if you have a loaf of bread and your neighbor doesn't, your obligation is to invite that neighbor over and give that guy half the loaf of bread. And that's just sort of how we were brought up. So my job has been, since we've been lucky, to try to give back and do something for the community. And this is one of those examples where it works. Doesn't always work. But the 43 North was about creating an opportunity. We had a company where the CEO said to me one day, I have to leave Buffalo. And I said, I don't think that's going to happen. I said, something may leave, but it's not going to be the company. But I said, but I'll do something to try to fix this. So we started C80 and we started 43 North, and we've been able to create opportunities that's changed the psyche, the attitudes, 3,000 people that come here and get excited, companies that have been successful, and amazing people that have shown great leadership. And if you do that, then you just are very proud. So there's too many people to thank. I would like to thank everybody here. I'd like to thank my family, my wife, of course, my partner, Ronnie, for 40 years. And I'd like to thank Buffalo for allowing me to be a part of this. Thank you very much.
You were surprised.
Yeah,
right?
yes, yes.
Okay, back to the show. Give us one moment. We'll get our judges back out here. I just got the official tally. We've got almost 3,000 people here. Please give yourself a round of applause. It means so much to us to have you all here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, when you're ready backstage, let's meet our next competitor, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sydney Davis from Nix Code.
Most tech startups are either building, leveraging, or supplementing their product with a mobile application. And taking the traditional route can be a huge barrier to entry. Tech startups turn to rapid app development. Today, we're focused on a $61 billion no-code SaaS market as it grows to a near $100 billion opportunity for the future. We stand out amongst the competition by being the only SaaS that allows you to build your app quick, custom, and own your IP. We are removing the barrier to entry by enabling startups to build, launch, manage, and scale their app with one tool for one price with no code. We offer software integrations for users to build their app's functionality and to have advanced software options so they can make informed decisions and customize their app for their users. We have a platform with 90% people of color who are choosing us so they have the ability to service their diverse target audiences. We are solving a racial bias issue within the tech space. Finally, an app builder that lets you own your code without the high overhead or complexity of coding. Our revenue consists of B2C subscriptions, upsells, and B2B licensing. Since launching 18 months ago, we've earned over $250,000 of revenue and have 56,000 platform users. We have been able to get product market fit organically without outside investment. Our team consists of B2B sales, product and software development experts within the no-code space with the experience of successful exits. With the 43 North opportunity, we would hire a team to help boost our conversion to 10% to yield a $5.4 million ARR while investing in marketing and local partnerships. We will create a career pipeline with diverse tech talent for Buffalo by utilizing our software to encourage tech careers and remove the barrier to entry for local tech startups in hopes to diversify the startup community. We can't wait to move our company to Buffalo and bring equity to tech in West New York. With that, I'd like to introduce my VP of Sales and Partnerships, Saul Davis.
Okay, very good. Excellent. On this center stage here, please. All right, who's going to kick it off? Right.
So for your use of proceeds, who are you hiring? What are you doing with the money?
Yes, we're going to hire a sales team and marketing, as we've been totally organic without any sales or marketing. So we want to put that investment into tell more people about Nix Code, and hopefully use that sales team to close at 10% of our 56,000 users, which at our average subscription rate of $149 a month, we could actually generate $10 million in 1 year.
What's your renewal rate?
What is our renewal rate?
Renewal rate.
It's like
renewal rate.
when people $149, do
Yeah.
people come back? How often?
Monthly.
Yeah.
So it's a monthly subscription at $149, and we have a less than 1% churn rate.
Okay.
What's the product that you're actually launching? Like, what does that product portfolio look like? And what's the channel that buys it, or industry that buys it most often?
Yeah, so it's a online platform SaaS to build mobile apps, and the mobile apps can be anything from healthcare to beauty, and that's the majority of the type of apps we've seen built on our platform by startups and local business owners.
But the product is what? It's code to enable them to do what?
To build a mobile app for Android and Google platforms.
An app. Got it.
Peter.
Quick question. How do customers find you? You know, you've gotten all this kind of organic growth, and so what have been the most kind of impactful channels for finding
I'll take primarily through partnerships. So we partner with universities, SCORE, SBA, schools, churches, nonprofits, industry-related types of things that are going on. We kind of research those and see if we can get in the middle of them and find a need there as well.
Great.
Yep. A lot of social media marketing. We're really good with word of mouth.
Good, good, good.
As you think about the competition, you know, offshoring or onshoring, how do you think about that, the dynamic?
When it comes to competition, we've really been able to listen to our target audience and actually work with a lot of investors who are investing in tech startups. And the issue with the competitors are they're great for MVP and validation, but reason why we are more favored is because you can actually scale, retain. We don't lose you once you validated. You can bring your own tech team. You can actually scale your company, build enterprise level apps with our platform. So what you could do with, you know, a bunch of tech stacks, you could just do within one solution with our platform. And so that's why it's favored amongst competition and how we are also different from them.
I didn't hear what I think everyone here actually cares about is why you want to come to Buffalo.
Yeah, I want to come to Buffalo because I want to see more diversity of tech startups in Buffalo. I want to see more people of color be founders and launching the next big tech startup. I want to see more students get education and get inspired to pursue tech. I want to fulfill that career pipeline. So when I look at the diversity makeup of Buffalo, I feel like there's so much opportunity and room for that, especially with the Boys and Men of Color initiative in Buffalo. There's so much racial equity work to be done.
That's good. Got time for one more question.
10 years from now, where will the company be?
10 years? Exited and acquired, hopefully. So hopefully, we're actually in 5 to 7, we hope to actually have a successful exit or acquisition.
Okay.
That's probably a good note to end on.
Thanks.
Okay, voice of God, who's next?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
Yes.
Rebecca Brady from Top Seeds.
You're on the clock. Did you bring crackers for everybody?
We ate them all.
Peter ate them all.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca Brady, and I am the founder of Top Seeds. A top seed is the definition in sports. The top team, or in this case, the cracker, was most favored to win. So what does Top Seeds do? We make the best crackers and roasted seeds in the world. They're They're gluten-free, vegan, and certified organic, and they're made right here in Buffalo. And our customers can't get enough of them. In 2017, I set up Top Seeds with $5,000 seed money. pun intended. It's now a recognizable and growing brand, and we've doubled year on year, and we need 43 North to take us to the next level. We are woman-owned and minority-driven. And we're committed to inclusion and diversity. We're proud to employ refugees from all over the world who want to make Buffalo their home. So we have a vision for a $100 million company together with 43 North. How are we going to do that? We need to increase our stores, increase our store value, increase production, drive our gross margins up, and add more SKUs. So what is the $100 million opportunity? Well, the cracker market alone is worth $7 billion, the snack market is worth $43 billion, and the total addressable market is 300,000 stores. We're in 350 now, but we need to get to 6,500. Our channels are 80% wholesale, 20% online through Top Seeds and Kroger. An example of our demand for our customer, Giant emailed us last week asking for samples. So, we're already profitable in 2021. Our net profit was $300,000. Our current run rate is $2.5 million, and our 2022 goal is $4 million. I'm proud of what we've achieved, and I'm excited for this opportunity. Together with 43 North, let's make this Buffalo brand a household name.
Very good. All right. Howard, you're up.
I assume most of you in this audience have tasted this product. I tasted it for the first time today. It's frickin' ridiculous.
Thank you.
It's one of the best crackers I've ever had, if not in my life. So, you guys should be very happy and proud she lives in Buffalo. But the question for you is what I'd like you to think about. You talk about X numbers of stores you want to get into.
Yeah.
Can you think about the stores as the means by which you get your brand out there, but you then build your business as a direct-to-consumer business where the margins are so much better? Because that means you can reach 300 million people in America with your product versus having to always go through stores. Your product is built for both a direct-to-consumer model and a retail model. And if you can drive the business more towards a direct-to-consumer model while you support it through retail, your business will grow faster and you'll get repeat purchase.
Yeah, thank you. I will. I agree. I totally agree. It's where the market is.
Sounds like some good coaching.
Yeah.
Who's next? Rodina. Jackie.
Sure, I smiled. That was the next button, but fine. I'm actually thinking about how you grow the business, and one of the questions in the back of my mind is you had a roadmap 5 years out, 100 million, which is plenty of ambitious. But if you had optionality, would you want to penetrate more stores, which is sort of what you outlined here? Could you add another product? Like how, if you wanted to get to 100 million in half the time or double to 200 million in the same amount of time, what would you do differently, and what's impeding you from doing so?
Well, our limitations now are our production facilities. So if we can plow more money into production, we can meet demand. You know, it's all about getting the cracker into people's mouths. People love the cracker once they have it, as you said, and if we can get it into their mouths and produce enough, the world's the limit, right? My mother would kill me if I don't get this to New Zealand one day.
How do you increase production? What do you need to do?
We need to automate. That's what we want to put our money into right now. Yeah.
So building a better factory or manufacturing
it's
facility?
It's a largely manual manufacturing process at the moment. So yeah, automation is our key pillar.
And do you know that automation is actually compatible with the cracker you make now?
Yes, it's definitely out there. My husband's an engineer. He told me this.
Peter, then Brian.
Yeah. You actually listen to your husband?
Yeah,
exactly. You need to.
That's right. I pretend to listen, right? Yeah.
That's great.
Staying on the rails.
Who are the 1 or 2 key hires that can help you with the next chapter of scaling?
Okay, well, our focus is on automation, so we really need an engineer and someone to help with that equipment setup for us. And once we've got that up and running, we need some sales and channels managers to help with that distribution of the product and grow those markets. Yeah.
Not a,
Right, you had a question?
not a question, but a comment. Whether you win or lose tonight, I'm very interested in investing.
There you go.
There we are. Great. Thank you.
They all heard.
We'll be arm wrestling that one. We'll be arm wrestling that deal.
We got time for one more question.
Has anyone approached you to buy the company, just given how notable the
Yeah,
product
Brian.
is? Sorry. Other than Brian.
No, we're going to grow the company first.
Yeah.
Not yet.
There you go.
No.
Not yet?
Yeah, yeah.
So tomorrow, put your database, your website on your packaging.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Because
Yes.
that will make
Thank
the sales
you.
go through the roof.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, we'll end
hand-fried
it
them
there.
all.
Great job.
Yeah,
Great work.
thank you.
Combine it together.
Me and you, buddy.
Done.
Yeah.
Close the deal.
All right, who's up next?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Courtney Caldwell from Shear.
She's good.
Oh, the Bills shirt. Smart.
Ready when you are?
You're ready to go.
Awesome. Okay. 40% of salon and barbershop space goes unused every day. I know, because my co-founder and I are former salon owners, and this was a problem we were just trying to solve for ourselves. Hi, my name is Courtney Caldwell, and I'm the co-founder of beauty tech startup Shear. Shear is the first B2B mobile tech that provides space as a service for the second largest industry for freelancers and independent contractors. Think of us as Airbnb. Here's how it works. You type in your city and hit go. You select your day or days of the week you'd like to work, licensed specialty, workspace type, and a whole host of amenities like free Wi-Fi and parking, cable TV, wheelchair accessibility, the list goes on. Once you find a match, you type in your credit card information and literally book salon space to work like you book a hotel room. It's that easy. Besides, Shear is now in over 800 cities with more than 4,000 hosts. But this is just the beginning. We launched our public beta in September 2017, and since then have been growing 10% month over month. Stylists love us once they find us. We know this because 65% of these solopreneurs come back. Empty salon chairs represent over $16 billion in opportunity revenue. The average price on the Shear app is $80 a day. And because we take between 25 to 40% commission on each Shear booking, our estimated revenue over the next 3 years is north of $100 million. My co-founder has 28 years in beauty, earned his doctorate degree in professional barbering and cosmetology, and is a #1 best-selling author on how to achieve long-term success in the beauty and style industry. My background is 21 years in B2B tech marketing. I used to run Oracle's digital strategy and innovations group worldwide and had plenty of time sitting under Larry Ellison. That's all right, go Larry. Today, we are now going to use the investment from 43 North to supercharge marketing and to hire right here in Buffalo. Shear. This is the first app that provides space as a service for the second largest industry for freelancers and independent contractors. We're growing 60% every year, and today we want to be here in Buffalo. Thank you so much.
Very good.
And now I'd like to invite out to the stage my CEO and co-founder, Dr. Ty.
You want to go first since you and I spend so much money on barbers?
It's been a long time since I was at a salon or barbershop. You guys are from Texas.
Correct.
So you traded a Cowboys shirt for a Bills jersey awful quick.
Hey.
We're already at home.
And actually, I'm doubly on brand because I not only have my Bill shirt, but I have my 43 North shoes.
And we are, and see, to answer your question.
Why does it make sense for you to be here?
Oh, yeah.
It's the real
Well,
question.
it just makes sense because really, we thought New York was just New York City. Buffalo is Texas. You know what I'm saying? In a nutshell. And if you're going to be home, you got to represent the home team.
That's true. And honestly, not many people know this, but there are more schools in the state of New York per capita than any other place. So we're thinking about cosmetology schools, how to target barber colleges. And New York has always been, since we first started Shear, a top 3 region for us. Best place for Shear engagement, best place for getting new Shear hosts, and best place for signing on new Shear stylists.
Absolutely.
Peter, do you have a question?
Yeah, what are the 1 or 2 most requested features, or what are the things you're most excited about on the product roadmap?
I'll say, dynamic pricing. So we went through the Google for Startups Accelerator for Black Founders about this time last year. Yes, thank you. And it was all about machine learning and artificial intelligence. And so we built out dynamic pricing. Our hosts were telling us, you know, I would like to not have to go in and manually change my price every time a holiday comes up or I'm out of the office. I would like to just have the system tell me what price I can use to maximize my earnings potential. At the same time, stylists were telling us, well, if I book a month in advance, shouldn't that price be cheaper than if I did 24 hours before? And so it just made sense for us to build that in. It works very similar to airline pricing.
How do you think about the regions? Because you know, stylists has probably a radius within which they travel to a certain location. So how do you think about the matching engine, and also how you value a region, whether it's a profitable region for your business or not?
Yeah, so the average Shear sharer is actually female. She's a hairstylist out of all the licensed specialty, nail technician, makeup artist, barber, et cetera. And she chooses to travel about 15 miles outside of her home base. We know that we can maximize the earnings potential for her if we price those Shear suites and stations appropriately within that radius.
As a strategy, are you more focused on targeting the shop, or are you more focused on targeting the individual hairstylist?
That's a great question.
And what's most important from a customer acquisition point of view?
Well, that's a great question. This is a two-pointer. It's a two-parter. We wanted to focus, it's a chicken and egg. We wanted to focus on the stylist, with the host, because we know the stylists want variations. They want different. They want to be different. They want to get more and more. No matter how much we thought we had enough for them, they said, I want more. So it's just almost like a hotel. You know, there's a place for motels and you got your Four Seasons. You got a price point for everybody. So we wanted to make it something where people say, you know what, we want to put 1,000 hosts in New York. We want to put 100 shops in Buffalo. They want more. So at the end of the day, we wanted to focus on the hosts, which are the salon and barbershop and spa owners. But and then they come and they just organically just jump on.
Yeah, and it made sense for us to start with the host first because that was us. We had to educate our market to help them understand this is a brand new revenue model for you and how it can maximize for them.
Right, please.
Where's it going? When are you going to sell, exit, yacht? Tell me all about it.
Oh my gosh, yes, all of that and then some. Now, when we first started Shear, we knew that it wasn't just going to be about space. We decided to make sure that this B2B ecosystem that we're building out is truly going to be able to give the tools that they need, anyone who's passionate about this industry, but on a pay-as-you-go basis. So like right now we have a partnership with Lloyd's of London, the largest insurance company in the world, and they give our stylists daily professional liability insurance. It's the only place you can get it. For $5 a day, you get up to $1 million in professional liability insurance coverage. So you think about Lloyd's of London, you think about retail sell-through on a pay-as-you-go basis, you think about portable health benefits, all the non-sexy things, because people don't get into this industry to be doing grunt work. They look to this industry to be creative. And so we want to give them all of that and then some.
Absolutely. Great job.
Great
We'll end
line.
it there.
Woo.
Let's meet our next competitor, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cody Semra from Bettermind.
Hello everyone, my name is Cody Semrau and I'm the founder and CEO of Bettermind, an online therapy platform for college students. We partner directly with colleges across the country so that their students have access to our network of licensed mental health counselors from the privacy and convenience of their laptops and smartphones, no matter where they're located. I started Bettermind back in 2017 because of the mental health issues that I experienced myself as a college student when I struggled with anxiety and depression. But it wasn't until I got to a point where I knew I either needed to get help or I was gonna have to drop out of school that I was willing to go into this building everybody knew on campus as the counseling center, sit across from classmates in the lobby dealing with their own issues, and then to be told it would take weeks for me to get into the next available appointment. Today, colleges across the country are seeing greater demand for mental health resources than ever before. And in the past 5 years, there's been a 40% increase in that demand. Further, schools are unable to help students studying out of state or abroad. There's an increased number of students dropping out due to mental health issues, as well as a greater number of students taking their own lives. Last year alone, over 1,400 college students died by suicide. Bettermind is on a mission to partner directly with colleges to give their students instant access to our network of counselors, regardless of where they're located. And by helping students get the help they need early on, we're able to prevent them from dropping out and ultimately helping to save student lives. Today, Bettermind is working with 40 colleges across the country, and over 3,000 students have utilized our services this year. Year over year, we've seen a 5x revenue increase, and this year we're on track to do $900,000 in revenue, 800 of which is annually recurring. By the end of next year, we'll be working with over 100 colleges and doing $2.6 million in revenue. Our team is currently 5 employees strong, and we're in the process of raising a seed round to build our team and scale our operations right here in Buffalo, New York. Thank you.
Important topic. Jackie, you want to kick it off?
Yep. Why is this channel unique, and what is it about the workflow of selling to colleges that makes a verticalized platform necessary versus like a horizontal mental health platform?
Great question. I think the higher ed space is a vertical unto itself, and one of the big reasons is they have counseling centers that oftentimes we have to interact with. They have student life folks that want us to make sure their students are taken care of, including putting in place procedures and protocols to ensure that if there's ever a crisis, their students are always going to get the care they need. So we do a lot of integration with college counseling centers, and the distribution model of going directly to colleges and selling to them is complicated, but it's one that we've really figured out that I think other platforms, won't be able to do quite as easily.
But sales cycles for universities are long, so is it that it's once you're adopted, it's sticky, and therefore you're there to stay for a long, long time, so it catches on from a lifetime value? Or why it versus corporate versus hospitals versus something else?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the colleges are seeing this huge increase in demand that they're struggling to provide enough resources for. And I think for us, we're a really cost-effective way to put in place this resource, provide diverse counselor options that they may not have, provide night and weekend hours, and a lot of supplemental services. And our average sales cycle is about 6 to 12 months, so it is not quick for colleges, but once we get in, they see the value instantly, and we have a 95% retention rate. So,
is the sales cycle dropping because of the fact you have success?
It is. I think when we start working with a school, for instance, we started working with a school about 4 months ago in Wisconsin. We started having a good experience. They introduced us to the other 15 community colleges in their system because one of them already was having a good experience. So that really helps us accelerate our growth and sort of that networking effect within the colleges.
Peter, please.
Really quick, I love that you're building this for yourself to help, kind of address your own need, and the fact that you're removing the stigma from therapy, which I think is so important. Are there ways for you to partner with other existing scaled telemedicine companies to help you grow even more quickly?
I think it's definitely a possibility. I mean, one of the biggest challenges right now is building out a provider network. It is very state by state because of licensing issues. So as we work with a school in a new state, we have to go in and recruit counselors who are licensed there. So I think as we look to scale quickly, building out that network is going to be really important. And being able to work with other companies already having that network is a huge advantage.
Do you do anything to connect, aside from the licensing issue, to connect student to particular practitioner so that there's more of an affinity for them?
Yeah, great question. So when students sign up on the platform, they actually tell us a few things about the issues they're dealing with, the preferences they have for a counselor, whether that's a male or female, someone of a certain race or ethnicity, someone who speaks a certain language. So they can indicate that within a couple minutes and then see counselors in our network who are a good fit. Students are able to actually choose the counselor they want to work with at the time it works for them, which is something that I certainly never had in a counseling center, and it makes a huge difference for students being willing to work with someone who maybe looks like them or understands their background.
Time for one quick question. Regina,
so while universities become ideally a non-churnable customer for you, students rotate every 4 years. Let's focus on undergrad. Do you have a sense of what % of that student base stays with you post their academic experience? Because presumably you can continue to support them and your margins improve dramatically because there is no longer a cut going to the university.
Definitely. I think at our early stage, we don't have great data on how long these students stay with us after graduating, but it's a revenue stream we're definitely starting to tap into as we see students graduating and really liking working with their counselor and the ease of the use on the platform. So that's certainly a revenue pool that we're going to be continuing to tap into.
By the way, I have to say, this is not one where we jump up and down because it's a real issue, but for a company with 5 employees to actually have gotten to nearly $1 million in ARR is pretty darn impressive, so well done.
Very well done.
One to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sean Masavage from Zealot Interactive.
I think you started.
It's all yours.
Yeah, good to see you. How you doing?
Play Freebird.
In a little bit, All right.
Ready to go?
Right now, just in the US, there are 5 million guitars sitting unused in closets. That's because 90% of new players give up after just a few months. I'm Sean Masavage, CEO of Zealot Interactive, and I spent 10 years failing to learn guitar. Now, thanks with the help of my CTO, John Tolley, we created something better, and it works.
Judges are leaving.
Introducing Fret Zealot. Fret Zealot teaches guitar, and it's fun, easy, and addictive. Fret Zealot is the Peloton of music education.
Okay, all right.
There's a massive streaming video marketplace with thousands of videos to teach you anything from songs, styles, courses, everything. We have optional LED hardware that installs on instruments to show you colorized finger locations that sync up live with what the instructor is teaching you on screen. We've sold 12,000 devices in over 60 countries. We've been vetted by the press, tested and scrutinized by the top YouTube influencers, hired a rock star team of industry experts, thoroughly analyzed our unit economics and tied it to our ad spend. And now we're ready to scale. We have a distinct plan to get to 250,000 subscribers by 2026, which pegs us as a $65 million business. The most exciting part is how we're kickstarting our growth. We are the exclusive partner for teaching lessons for the upcoming show, Monarch. It's an epic country music drama, and with an estimated 1 million viewers per episode, it's a tremendous way for us to accelerate our growth. We are excited to make Buffalo our home. We've already started hiring locally and are talking with local universities to get our intern pipeline flowing. We hope to join the 43 North family. Thank you.
Jackie.
What happens when that show goes on air and your product is there? I could see tons of upside, but I could see the oh no moment for fulfillment, particularly given what's going on with supply chain. So talk a little bit about how you're going to deal with the volume that you would expect to see from that show.
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer is that we actually have inventory in Amazon FBA. And so if we need to, which it is unlikely given our fulfillment process, but if we need to, we can just backfill the orders through there and just have it sent out, 2-day shipping. We've dealt with inventory crunches before with some flash sales. The most we've shipped out, I think, is 1,500 units in a week. So it'd be pretty significant, but we're capable of handling it.
Peter, please.
How much have you raised in capital to date, and how much do you spend on a monthly basis to acquire customers?
That's a great question. We've raised about $1.6 million to date, all through angel investment. We're very excited to start our first institutional round, hopefully with 43 North starting that. And monthly, it's an interesting question, probably about $5,000. It's very low right now. We're looking to increase that pretty significantly, and that's why our unit economics are so important, and we're excited to actually flesh that out after all the testing.
Howard.
Do you still feel it's right to sell products separately versus bundling the two together?
We're collecting the data right now to make sure we do the correct execution of that. If we do switch over and start, for example, mandating that somebody subscribe with the hardware, we not only need to make sure that our customers are willing to do that, but we also need to have the correct licensing in place so that everything we offer is being paid to the appropriate parties.
Good question. Brian, please.
Can you share a story about how much more efficient it is to use your service versus me just trying to play around with a guitar?
Oh, I love this. So when you're watching a video, imagine yourself seeing something on screen, then trying to find your finger location on the fretboard. It takes you probably about 5 or 6 seconds. With our system, it's 1 second. We've actually filmed people side by side with like a blinder there, just seeing what they do. And it's fascinating how much confidence people get knowing that their fingers are in the correct location. They actually engage more and listen and dedicate the sound they're creating to memory because they know it's correct with their finger locations. So a lot going on there.
There was a rumor that somebody gave up their Nintendo for your guitars. Isn't that the case?
This is my favorite investor story. We were talking with an angel investor and we said, you've got to try the system. Here you go, here's a guitar. He brought it home and his son grabbed it before he had a chance to play it. And in our meeting, he had said his son only plays Nintendo Switch. So a week later, I find out, not even through him, through a friend, that his son had been playing it constantly. Then a month later, he actually started a band and has basically abandoned video games. He's just playing this and maybe a musician someday.
Did he invest?
We got time for one more question. Who's got it?
So music lessons can be expensive. What is the savings between an actual in-person lesson for a consumer and one after the initial outlay of a few $100s for the tech and everything else? As a parent, I'm curious how much I'm going to save by.
Yeah, of course. So it's an interesting comparison. There's savings both in money and time. It takes time and effort and scheduling to actually get to lessons, but then you're paying, call it $1 a minute. So maybe $30 for a 30-minute session, $60 for a 60. It varies a lot. But regardless, the hardware is $200, the subscription for $15 a month for infinite lessons. It's an amazing value, and it gives you your time back.
Yeah, don't forget, that's one of the benefits of Peloton. You don't need to go to the gym. So, in fact, you don't have to go take the lesson in somebody's studio.
Exactly.
Saves you time.
All right, we'll end it there. Great job.
Thank you.
How about a round of applause for all 10 of our companies today? They did a fine job. Really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And how about a round of applause for this great group of judges? Thank you so much for the time that you've dedicated to us. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, that wraps up our pitches. Our judges are going to go backstage and they're going to deliberate and figure out who the next 8 winners are. There's supposed to be some sound they're supposed to hear, but they're going to hear some sort of an odd sound in a second, which will. There you go. Yeah, I'm about to run through the stadium now or something. But anyways, when you hear that sound again, that means the judges have made their decision. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Colleen Heidinger to come back out. And I'm going to retire with the judges. It's been a great spending time with you this evening. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to try this again. I'm going to ask my biggest supporters to let me know that this mic is working. Dad, can you hear me? Sean, can you hear me? Douglas Development? Awesome. Okay, friends, we've got a few minutes to spare here as the judges deliberate. We also have some really exciting news to share as well. But in the meantime, I owe a debt of gratitude. What we love about this night is that each year it gives our entire community a chance to see firsthand the greatness that comes from collaboration and commitment to a common goal. Behind me are a lot of logos, but behind those logos are people who are passionately supportive of the 43 North mission, led by Kathy Hochul and the entire team at Empire Development who, Pam, I see you, Amanda, Howard's here, right? Thank you for your continued visionary support. This does not happen without you. Many volunteers, yes. Many volunteers stepped up this summer across various rounds of judging to ensure we found the best companies to present to you tonight. Thank you for spending, I know where you're sitting, thank you for spending your summer days in Seneca One with us. We also have a group of 30 venture capitalists and investors from across the country. They determined yesterday the top 10 that you saw tonight. Thank you all for traveling to be with us here in Western New York, particularly because many of them dealt with nor'easter that hit the East Coast on Monday and Tuesday, so thank you. The 43 North Board is a group of very special people that believe in our mission and live it each and every day. They have committed their lives to better our entrepreneurial ecosystem. We are here tonight because of their dedication to the betterment of our community. Thank you all for your extensive support and direction, but more importantly, the belief that we can change the future of our city by working together. There are many of my former 43 North teammates here with us tonight. These friends dedicated their lives to laying the foundation to allow us to grow and prosper across the years. Thank you all for your long-time commitment to building Buffalo's entrepreneurial ecosystem. You were doing it before it was cool. We wouldn't be where we are today if it weren't for your time, energy, and resiliency across our earlier years. A little early. And last but certainly not least, the 43 North team. These 9 individuals are keenly focused, energized, and committed to ensuring our program's success. They push each other and our organization to think differently, take risks, and they united very quickly as a new team over just the past 6 months. Only 2 of us have been through a finals before. I know I can speak for all of us when I tell you that we are honored to have the opportunity to do this work for this city that we love wholeheartedly. Please join me in giving You already did it, but I'm asking for another loud round of applause as they have collaborated and inspired one another to create, by far, our best finals yet. Thank you all. With that, I welcome Laura Devlin, our Vice President of Marketing and PR, to fill you in on a very exciting project in which we're going to ask for your presence again in early December. Take it away.
Thanks, Colleen. As the impact of startups, let me try that again. As the impact of startups and fast-growing private companies becomes more and more tangible in Buffalo, we realize that the 43 North mission still has a certain elusiveness here in our local community. And since we're only as strong as the engagement and participation of the wider region, we recognized a need to crystallize our mission and purpose and decided it was time to peel back the curtain to give our city a better look at what exactly is happening here. I'm excited to share with you tonight that over the past few months, 43 North, in partnership with the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation and a number of supporting sponsors, has been filming and producing a documentary. In fact, Smile, our production team, is out there tonight. This documentary will tell the story of some of the talent and innovation inside these companies, as well as the founders who started them. It will spotlight an entrepreneurial revolution that is sweeping Buffalo and contributing to a resurgence that is unfolding right before our eyes. The program will highlight the many opportunities, like jobs and infrastructure, that are being born of this effort, and hone in on visionaries like Douglas Jamal to learn how a once outsider like him saw the potential, and now he too believes so deeply in Buffalo. Our ultimate goal is to encourage everyone in this region to find their role in this mission to build Buffalo's future. We won't all start a new company or go to work at a startup. It might be something as simple as having lunch at Seneca One Tower or touring M&T Bank's Tech Hub. But no doubt, big or small, there is a role for all of us. So join us. Mark your calendars for Wednesday, December 8th at 7 p.m. and tune in to WKBW Channel 7 for this special program. This documentary will reinforce why 43 North exists. And in case it hasn't already been made clear here tonight, it seems that the most simple explanation is that it's all for the love of Buffalo.
You know, Buffalo's on the map. I think that we just have to show everybody where it is.
You may not come from the place they expect you to come from, but that has nothing to do with what you can accomplish.
Buffalo's open for business, but it's not the same old business that existed here.
Unicorns, thousands of jobs, a vibrant startup ecosystem.
A mentality of progress and innovation, risk-taking, being industrious.
The single biggest business plan competition in the world. Applicants from over 100 countries. $1 million you win for one day.
We're building companies and building communities that are going to bear the load of future generations to come.
And if you decide I'm going to plant that seed and go, watch what can happen.
Please welcome 43 North and Forge Buffalo's Senior Marketing Manager, Christian Gaddis.
What's up, Buffalo? We're getting really close, gang, I promise. So, since the very first 43 North Finals competition, there have been people, many of whom have sat in the same seats as you all tonight, that were inspired by what's taken place on this stage and started looking to find their role in Buffalo's startup ecosystem. They came to 43 North and our partners at Viaduct looking for a job and opportunities, and we knew that we had to find a way to connect the talented people of the 716 with these fast-growing companies. And so, with the help of Empire State Development, Forge Buffalo was born. Forge Buffalo is more than a job board, though. It's an online community of like-minded people, movers and shakers, people that are hungry for something more than the same old 9 to 5. It's a hub for companies looking for motivated, hardworking, smart people to help them move their business forward. And it's a platform to connect those two groups, the people and the hundreds of companies looking for them. Did I mention we have jobs? We have hundreds of career opportunities at dozens of Buffalo-based companies. Open your phones right now and go to forgebuffalo.com to see for yourself. If you're looking for the ability to grow your career quickly, if you're ready to take on multiple roles, craving a strong team culture, want access to leadership and decision makers, you belong at a startup. If you're ready to start your search, go to forgebuffalo.com. It's free, so you can sign up today and find the job of your dreams. Or better yet, the job of your dreams can find you. But don't take my word for it. Listen to these people who have already forged their path.
I'm a graphic designer at Circuit Clinical.
Business Development Representative, ACV.
Jerry Insurance and Customer Service Representative.
Lead Test Engineer at Post Process.
I'm an Operations Coordinator at Kick Further.
I'm an Account Executive at Odoo.
Bounce Imaging, Inside Sales Lead.
I joined a startup to build a company.
Because of the opportunity for growth.
I wanted a challenge.
Because I wanted to work with new technology.
For the progressive environment.
I had fear of missing out.
I love working with a company that's growing.
If I want to do something and take the initiative, I can go ahead and do so.
Our CEO knows my name. Definitely the people.
And the rules are being built out.
The flexibility, no doubt. You're in it because you love it.
My voice is being heard.
You'll never meet a group of more impassioned people to work with.
The rewards are incredible.
It just feels like family.
Seeing my work make a difference.
Everything.
Be ready to learn and be excited about it. Learn about the company and just apply.
Take risks so that you can be part of a new type of community.
Startup life is where it's at.
I don't know if I'd be as happy as I am right now if I didn't join the startup community.
The job of your dreams is right here in Buffalo. Sign up today at forgebuffalo.com.
Please welcome 43 North Board Chair-elect and Chief Information Officer at M&T Bank, Mike Whistler. Please also welcome Erica Diagnan-Minahan, founder of Rain Ventures.
Hello, Buffalo.
Hello, Buffalo.
So, I am so honored and excited to be here tonight at the 43 North Finals. Everybody give it up. Woo! And we have the honor of being the very last act standing between you and finding out who is going home with $1 million investment. Yes.
Have you ever run a race where you don't know how long it's going to be?
No, but I know you have.
This is where we are.
Yeah, so we promise we're going to keep things interesting. And I want to let everyone know that as a founder and a VC myself, I have had the opportunity to be part of 43 North for the last 6 years and see the amazing transformations that have happened here in Buffalo and in the local tech community. But what I'm super excited about and where I think we're really going to see some transformation is that I'm joined tonight by a name and a very handsome face that many Buffalonians are already familiar with. And this is Mike Whistler, who is Chief Innovation Officer at M&T Bank and a leader in their commitment to growing Buffalo's tech, innovation, and entrepreneurial ecosystem. So everyone, big ups for Mike.
No, big ups for Buffalo.
Great. So I'd love to start a little bit with how you got here, right? You're in DC, you know, you're sitting in your office. All of a sudden, you get a call from a recruiter. They say something about Buffalo. They say something about M&T Bank. And the next thing you know, you're rappelling down the side of the M&T Bank building.
There's a little bit of time.
How did we get here? How did this happen?
So curiously, the first thing that I did when a recruiter called and said, we've got this really great opportunity in this really great place, but it's in Buffalo, is that I hung up. But luckily, he was incredibly perseverant. And through a course of him being perseverant and me just having a chance to meet just a few people in Buffalo, just like everybody here knows, once you've spent a little bit of time here, you know that it's a very, very special place. And the universe meant for us to be here.
The universe brought you guys together. Well, you know, I'm really fortunate because through 43 North, I've had the chance to get to know Buffalo a bit, not as well as you have, and I've seen firsthand the amazing evolution and change as we are building a true tech hub. So since the early days of 43 North, you know, we've seen a tremendous amount of progress in really what's a very short period of time in terms of the life cycle of a city. What do you think is different today for Buffalo versus 5 or 10 years ago? And what do you think it is that gives this amazing city a fighting chance to be a true contender and reap the benefits of a flourishing innovation scene?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things going on that we're starting to really see the accumulation of. One of the things that I think is most important is this collective growing of belief. There's a collective understanding amongst many, many, many of us here that cities like Buffalo are in a race for relevance. And that relevance is for talent, not just tech talent, not just data talent. Cities like ours used to create their kind of enduring prosperity through wooing large manufacturing companies to come and throwing some tax rebates back at them and hoping that they brought the workers with them. And you know, the story of Buffalo is not dissimilar to being really close to those big assets. But the real model now is creating a place, in a space, in a culture where the best and the brightest want to be, and where we can actually grow them ourselves. And I think that's exactly what's happening. You know, when you were first here, how many people were in the crowd? A couple hundred, and we've got 3,000 people.
Whoa, give it up for the crowd. Yeah. For everyone who came tonight. It's all about the people. Well, you know, that's a wonderful answer. And, you know, one of the things that we want to make sure everyone knows about is that I think you have a new addition to your LinkedIn profile, right? To, to your title and your responsibilities.
Getting worried there for a second. Somebody didn't tell me something.
So, Chief Innovation Officer of M&T Bank, extreme competitive athlete, right? And now board chair-elect of 43North, the most important startup competition in the world. What time do you have to wake up in the morning to get all of this done?
I usually get up about 3:15.
Okay, that explains it. That explains it. So tell us a little bit about how the relationship between M&T Bank and 43North came about and why it's so important to the community for this partnership to be in place.
Yeah, first of all, I just feel so grateful and lucky to be standing on the shoulders that are just on display right here with 43North. Just so grateful to be entrusted by those who have built something, to your point, in such a very, very short amount of time into something that is just incredible, and hopefully in the short time that we'll steward it, we'll be able to hand it to someone else who can even take it to the next level. If you think about our relationship, we're obviously a fixture here in Buffalo, but our story is relatively simple. We simply exist to enable the prosperity of the communities that we live and serve, and what we know is the formula for modern prosperity in communities is about a lot of things, but it's as much about opportunity as anything else. And I think if there's one thing that 43North, and along with the other assets that we have here in this community that we're building and nurturing together, is we are going to create more opportunity for absolutely everyone who absolutely wants to participate than ever could have been fathomable before, to not only attract the greatest talent here, but to keep talent here, to create our own talent here. And that flywheel is something that once it gets started, it's just simple physics of an innovation ecosystem. We're already seeing ACV. Two folks came out of ACV and they're already up on stage founding another company. That just begets more and more.
That's amazing. Well, I think you're absolutely right about the opportunity. In the US alone, there's a shortfall of over 1 million tech workers that I know companies are desperately trying to fill. How do you think that the city of Buffalo is going to partner with companies like M&T and other local players in the ecosystem to create this next generation workforce? Hopefully there's some folks in the crowd that can possibly fill some of these roles.
Yeah, we had, a couple dozen students sit through the entire pitch competition yesterday. It was just so exciting to watch. I think the number might be, even 2 or maybe even 3 million tech jobs that we're short. And that is something that is felt by all of us. If you work anywhere right now and you don't think that where you work or what you do is a tech company, then I think you might not really know where you work. Everything is essentially converging. Everything is a service. Everything is a tech company. 4-year universities are a great part, but there's no way that 4-year universities are going to solve the gap that we have nationally. We need to think about the manipulation of software and coding and technology as the 21st century blue-collar trade, and we need to start investing as communities in order to make those opportunities available. And those are many of the things that we're doing here. 43North, Tech Buffalo. We've got 25 nonprofit partners working right now with us with the Western New York Tech Skills Initiative, where we've opened up during COVID to 3,000 people in Western New York, free training around tech. We've got more and more going on where we're trying to connect as many of those nonprofits and as many of these education partners as possible. We've got to go literally house to house in our community. If you have children, you have grandchildren, you have nieces, you have nephews, if you have anybody around, if somebody wants to get into the system, this ecosystem that we're building now in any kind of way, whether in a startup or to learn something new, just raise your hand. There's an opportunity everywhere, and we're going to try to create as many more as we can.
I love that. I love that. So, you know, speaking of jobs, opportunity, community, there's nothing that brings a community together like an amazing workspace. So let's talk a little bit about the gorgeous Seneca One, a world-class, community-focused space. How do you feel this building is going to play a role in the revitalization and invigoration of the tech and financial community of Buffalo?
Yeah. Who might have been around here wanting to tear that thing down a few years ago? Anyone? Yeah, I'm glad you didn't. And thank you to Mr. Douglas Jamal, another angel fallen from somewhere into Buffalo. Douglas and I talk about quite often how we can't explain it, but we're just meant to be here. And we're just so lucky to have been so embraced by the community, and whatever we can do is just legitimately the least we can do. If you go around to cities around this country, and not the big tech cities that we talk about, the coastal cities, no offense to anybody who's flown in from San Francisco or New York or Chicago or Toronto, I'm talking about the Richmonds, the Pittsburghs, the Detroits, the Boulders, the Indianapolis. Those are the cities and the places that I think that we are in a race with. And many of those cities already have an idea of this enduring prosperity model of really supporting and creating much more entrepreneurial activity, particularly the technical ones. It's not new. It might be new to us, but it's simple. If you were to fly over each of those places, you would see that they all have some sort of corridor. They typically call it Silicon something. Silicon Slope, Silicon Forest. We'll have a competition to figure out what our silicon is. But what you notice is you have this easily identifiable place where you can see people doing the eat, live, work, play, collaborate, educate thing. And we believe that we have a right and a sincere ability to create that same kind of density. The tower is a really big part of that. We think that our corridor, if you will, is going to literally run from Canal Side all the way up into the medical campus. And we've got to create clustering and density so that we can attract creative folks, not just ones who are capable of solving problems, but the ones that are going out and looking for problems, because it's that clustering and it's those collisions that are going to make the difference for us. And we're well on our way with the tower. And thank you so much, Douglas, for all of your
Douglas.
for that.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. You know, it's physics, right? More collisions, more ideas coming together, more innovation, more potential for disruption. So, you know, as we're thinking about disruption, and if we look at a city that has been disrupted and is, you know, looking to take a role as the disruptor, why is it so important that Buffalo keeps pace with keeps up with the pace of digital transformation? What is really at stake for this city?
Yeah, I talk about the race for relevance. I think that is a race that's already started, and in some regards we may be a little behind. I actually think that it's not completely unfair to describe it as a race for survival. Yeah. If you think about what's at stake, this is essentially it. Like this isn't a fad, right? Tech, the internet, social media, enabling all of these great outcomes through the leverage of great technology. It is not going to stop. It's actually only going to become more impactful. We are living quite possibly in the most scary and the most amazing time in human history at the same time. Nothing has ever moved as fast as it's moving right now. The half-life of everything is just getting shorter and shorter, and that can be really scary. But at the same time, this is probably as slow as it's ever going to be.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I love what you said about the fact that everyone doesn't realize that they're working at a tech company. We had the absolute privilege today of getting a tour of the Tesla Gigafactory, which is clearly a tech company. Props up to any folks there. Absolutely beautiful facility with some amazing engineers doing their jobs with passion. But we were also at a really wonderful place called Oxford Pennant.
Yeah.
And you know what? Guess what? We saw some really fantastic artisans doing their thing and heard from some amazing business minds. But what was so interesting to me was the amount of technology that was integrated into what they do in the form of amazing machines. So I would love you to say, you know, if you think there are any people out there in the audience that don't think a job at a tech company is for them, what would you say to change their minds?
I haven't found a company that isn't a tech company, for one. Just think about the intersection in our lives, and think how fast it's become, and think just how tech-enabled we've become. I think the iPhone turned 13 this year, so
oh my God, we're getting old.
It's only been around for 13 years, and just think about how our lives have completely changed. No matter what you're into, there is an intersection with the information that's required in order to do it, the technology that's supporting it, the ability for it to reach more people through technology. Oxford Pennant is a beautiful story in an intersection of those things. You know,
everyone buy a pennant.
Everybody, please, yeah, can't stop, don't stop. You know, Maura says it best: if you don't know how, come have lunch at Seneca. You will meet somebody who will maybe not change your life. Go twice in a week, and maybe your life will change. But you'll just find a way, and that's exactly what we need from everybody.
That's great, absolutely. So, you know, you've talked a little bit about the Tech Hub, an amazing learning facility, lots of community opportunities for community participation. You know, how do you think that just average people here in the audience can really get involved? So, you know, they maybe have a job already, they're not starting a business. Like, what else can they do to be part of the energy, part of the mission?
Well, first of all, thank you for coming here tonight. You know, that's a big part of just gaining an understanding. You know, a couple years ago when we had the competition, we talked about exactly how one could get engaged from an investor perspective. You know, the whole venture and the entrepreneurial system can seem really overwhelming and really mystical, but it's actually not that complicated. If you think about the number of friends and families that were original investors and even ACV, they were just very normal folks like ourselves in that case. I think try to find a way to connect, try to find a way to be in a place around the folks that are trying to start companies, and I guarantee you, it is just literally simple physics. I guarantee you that you'll find an opportunity to take your experiences, regardless of where they have been, learn something, but typically also make an offer. And you know, one of the really important things that you observe about these ecosystems that are super successful is the behavior pattern of those ecosystems are one of curiosity. Everybody is always just trying to go and listen and learn. But the other one is this offer making. If you recall the last time we were here, Brad Feld talked about the startup way. If we can create a community that is curious and finds themselves in the place of others who are trying to solve a problem, and we ask more often what we can do to help than what might it be in for ourselves, that is exactly the behavior that we're trying to create here, and that's the exact kind of behavior that creates the positive flywheel.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that.
Is this the point in time where we say to the judges we're out of questions?
No, don't worry. I still got more questions for you. Yeah, you're just not prepared for them yet. So now we'll get into the real stuff, right?
Awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
Unscripted. So, you know, you talk a lot about community, and you're relatively new to the Buffalo community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you have some interesting hobbies, which I'm sure you've used to make some friends, right? So, up at 3 a.m., you're into CrossFit, but I also hear that you're doing some mountain climbing. So, climbing mountains in your career metaphorically, but also actual mountains. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have climbed 3 of the 7 peaks, one in Africa, one in North America, one in South America. We just recently, many of us, way more people than me, rappelled off the top of M&T Bank. We raised over $200,000.
Is that open to everybody?
Not absolutely everybody. I think there were 60 of us.
It's a fundraiser, right?
Yeah,
but
we
60 is a lot.
Yeah, we raised a couple $100,000 for O'Shea's and for
nice.
the United Way. Yeah, that's beautiful. There we are, saved by the bell. All right, you ready?
Woo! Decision is in.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Everyone, thank you to Mike
Thank
Whistler.
you so much, Buffalo. Let's give it up for the grand.
Please welcome back to the stage 43 North's president, Colleen Heidinger.
Here we go, Buffalo. The moment we've been waiting 2 years for. You can feel the nerves and excited energy backstage, let me tell you. We have our beautiful trophies ready to go. They were designed by our fellow Buffalo Billion partner, Buffalo Manufacturing Works, and our friends at the Foundry. And now, to help us distribute the awards, I'd like to welcome a dear friend to 43 North and a visionary for this community who's playing a leading role in leading Buffalo's resurgence, Douglas Jamal. He's finding his way. Also joining me on stage are 43 North board members and the 43 North team. As a reminder, we have 8 investments to announce tonight, 7 $500,000 prizes, and 1 $1 million grand prize. We'll announce 8 prizes of $500,000 in random order, and then announce who's getting the extra $500,000 to become our $1 million award winner. Let's show them the Buffalo way, folks, and please get on your feet. Here we go. Our first award goes to Zealot Interactive. Thank you all. Our second $500,000 prize goes to Big Wheelbarrow. Our third award goes to Phlox. Our fourth award goes to, oh, the trophy. Buffalo's own Veravn. Our fifth award goes to Shear. Can you go get more? Can you get more from me? Sophie. Maura. Our sixth award goes to Infuse Health. Our seventh award goes to Buffalo's own and Ignite Buffalo winner back in the day, Top Seeds. And our last, but not least, $500,000 award goes to Bettermind. It's my true honor to introduce our next guest. He's been a supporter of 43 North since the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Buffalo's Mayor, Byron Brown.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. It's wonderful to be back here at Shea's tonight for the finals of the 2021 43 North Business Competition. This exciting and successful competition is not only a game changer for the winners, but also for the city of Buffalo. I thank Governor Hochul, who was unable to join us tonight, for her commitment to sustaining 43 North and this tremendous competition. Also, my sincere thanks to 43 North President Colleen Heidinger. The entire 43 North team and board for their stewardship over the portion of the Governor's Buffalo Billion Initiative that makes all of this possible. And now, I'm pleased to announce Buffalo's newest $1 million winner of the 43 North Startup Competition. Top Seeds.
Okay, this first of all, thank you, Buffalo, and And thanks to the team at 43 North, Ignite Buffalo. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here. And thanks to the team that I work with, every one of you at Top Seeds and all our partners that we work with. And thanks to my family for putting up with this for the past year, my husband and my 3 kids. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being with us this evening. We are indeed back, and we are back stronger than ever. Our ecosystem and the city's brightest days are still ahead of us. So congrats again to our Year 7 winners, and welcome to Buffalo. Don't forget to tune in to the world premiere of our documentary, For the Love of Buffalo, on Wednesday, December 8th at 7 p.m. In the meantime, get home safely, and thank you so much for being here this evening.